No, James, for the last time, you can't actually tell anybody I'm Santa Claus. Like,
Look,
no.
the world needs to know.
No, but
Okay?
no, you can't tell the pod because then the pod's going to find out and then, oh, shoot, we're live.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Fake. We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined this week by James Asante, here to review tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite and Collision Holiday Bash. We got another 3-hour episode of wrestling from AEW, and a lot of it was good. I had a good time watching it.
I did. I love Dynamite.
Yeah, Dynamite was really good. Didn't love the Battle Royal, but we'll get to that.
Oh, weakest part of the night. Weakest part of the night.
Because we have to start with the most important news of the evening, which came about during the contract signing for the AEW Men's World Championship match at World's End. So obviously that match, following what happened the last few weeks on Dynamite and Collision. I'm upset I missed Collision last week. It is on my. I'm going to watch it. Apparently,
it was good. I watched it. It was good.
Claudio versus Takeshita needs to be watched.
I know
they tied, but
I called it. I was like, this is going to be the first tie of the tournament.
Good call.
Yep.
I mean, I called Speedball beating Fletcher. So anyway.
Okay. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying we've been doing well. Our predictions have been good in the minute at least. Anyway, our championship match at World's End is going to be Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. So after Toni Schiavone introduces all three men, Samoa Joe gets on the mic first insulting Schiavone and then apologizing for bringing his colleagues with him, that being Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook. But he said that the combination of Hangman and Swerve is always volatile, and he wants to make sure that nobody does anything stupid. Joe then quickly signs the contract, saying he will see both men at World's End, where he will remain champion, and he hopes that both of them make it there in one piece. Swerve is next, and he says what he's been saying for the last few weeks, where he only came back to regain the AEW World Championship, and if Joe wasn't a champ, he would be going after Hangman. But he and Hangman have gained some sort of weird mutual respect after everything they went through. And on the flip side of that, the two of them actually have a mutual hatred for Joe. Back before their title match, you know it. Back before their title match together, Joe left Swerve beaten so badly at a contract signing that Swerve had to sign the contract in his own blood. And Swerve went and repaid him for that by taking Joe's championship.
How iconic was that?
Thinking
back to it, how iconic was that for Swerve?
It was great. It was one of those moments that made Swerve. Outside the Hangman thing, it was that. Now, after all the hoops that Swerve has had to jump to in order to get to Joe, he says he's once again going to repay Joe by taking his championship. Swerve says this is big boss shit, calling himself Hard Body Swerve, although in his opinion, it's more like God Body Swerve. And he says he's going to show all of them that you can't kill a god with bullets. And that starts by stomping Joe so hard that his face is going to look like when Joe had that fake tattoo back in 2006. Joe got a kick out of that.
That was a good pull. Even Joe seemed to kind of appreciate it.
Yep. Yes, he did. So Swerve signs the contract, and that leaves Hangman as the last man to go. And he starts off by reminding everyone back where they were in July, not fighting each other, but fighting to free the Men's World Championship from a briefcase and to end the tyranny and the bullshit of the Death Riders. Now, had they figured out they all had to fight together in order to defeat the Death Riders before Joe had fought Moxley for the world title, it could have easily been Joe who became world champion. And similarly with Swerve, had they banded together to fight the Death Riders as a unit, Swerve could have been champion had they figured that out before he had went after Moxley. But it was left to Hangman when it all eventually came together, and he is the one who ended up becoming world champion. But he knew when he did that he would eventually wind up across the ring from all of those people who helped him fighting for the championship they fought to free. And he was more than willing to give it to them. He gave an opportunity to Joe, and Joe failed. So Joe turned to guys like Hobbs and Hook and became the thing he fought against, as Paige says Joe is worse than the Death Riders on their worst day. And Joe might stand there And Joe might stand there with the title, but that's all he has, because at the moment he has no self-respect and he has no dignity. And Hangman would hate for everyone to remember Joe as the piece of shit he is standing there today. Hangman then says he planned on defending the title against everyone who helped him, not just Joe, but guys like Darby Allin and Will Ospreay. And the mere mention of his name completely stopped the promo because the crowd had to chant.
Yep.
I'll get to that later. And he knew that there would come a time where he would once again have to face Swerve. And Paige said again he was going to give Swerve the title match he deserved. And if he lost, Hangman would have accepted that defeat and given Swerve the title. And while he cannot guarantee who will leave as champion, he can guarantee that it will not be Joe, because Joe should not have made an enemy of himself and Swerve. So Hangman,
I love that. Yeah.
Hangman signs the contract, and Toni Schiavone starts to say it's official, but then the lights turn out. And as they come back on, the music of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, hits. And Max makes his grand return to AEW following a lengthy absence involving a lot of movie filming.
All right. I believe he was filming something. I also think he took another trip to Turkey. His hair looked amazing.
I don't know if he took another trip, but he gelled it differently. It looks different.
It looked so much fuller. Like, I am not in any way ripping this man. I think it's brave that he talked about it. I think it's brave that he did it. And I think he looks great. But I would not be shocked if he took another trip.
Man, maybe he stopped over there for a bit. Who knows? But he does look good. Anyway, Max comes down to the ring and immediately goes to in front of the announce desk, where Smart Mark Sterling is standing with MJF's contract for a shot at the AEW World Championship a week after he signs it. And Max takes the contract, quickly signs it, and hands it to Schiavone. And Schiavone's like, oh, shit, that makes it a four-way. And Max just takes the mic and goes, shut up, Schiavone. No one needs to hear you explain this. Now leave my ring.
So I actually really like that, and I want to talk about that. But let's keep going.
Okay, so MJF begins to explain himself, and he says that's why he would enter himself into a four-way match instead of just trying to go out at maybe one-on-one. And he says that since the start of the company, Seabiscuit over there has called him a coward. And maybe in the past, Hangman was right. The old Max might have used every shortcut to get the title back upon his return. But he knows that in order to make Hangman suffer, he needs to not only to defeat Hangman himself, but his two biggest rivals. And that will hurt Hangman the most and hurt his fans the most. Joe then tries to jump in, and Max immediately gets in his face and tells him to shut up and says that he still hates Joe, and that when Joe took his title, the people ended up turning on him. And while he hates the people do matter because they decide whether or not you're one of the greatest. And MJF doesn't want to be, need to be one of the greatest. He has to be one of the greatest.
He doesn't want to be. He needs to be.
He needs to be. Thank you. I knew I got that wrong because I didn't write it down. But the people, after MJF lost the title, began to question his abilities and if he's on the path to becoming an all-time great. And MJF says he cannot have that. So the same place Joe ended his title reign, Max will end Joe's. Swerve then cuts in and says that if there's anybody MJF needs to be afraid of in the ring right now, it is him. And MJF comes back calling him Shane and then begins with a joke comparing Swerve, hey Maria, to Diddy before going into his and Swerve's history.
Only part of the whole promo that didn't work for me. I thought it was a weird move. I like a weird move to allow happen.
It felt very, like the older MJF, like low-hanging fruit type of thing.
Yeah, like beyond just being low-hanging fruit, if I'm AEW, this is our only black world champion, and we're having someone compare him to Diddy, who is reviled right now in real life. Like, yeah. I thought this was a weird choice. I would not have done it.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that he cleared this, because I don't think he would have just came up with this on the fly or not said anything about it. But I agree. Definitely I guess you could say, most controversial line in this segment. And MJF's good for at least one.
And otherwise, it was a great promo. As Maria said, MJF's best promo in a very long time. I thought he was pretty much on fire throughout. I just really did not like this one line. I took me out of it a little bit.
Fair enough. But he did move on from it very quickly, which was good.
John saying, I mean, he is creeping in people's cribs. That's I understand. I understand. I just it should have, could have been done maybe a little bit differently.
The too much body oil was a weird one. Swerve doesn't really use it, but
yeah.
Digressing. The and they can't rap part was a good line.
That was a good line. That was a good line.
Anyway, Max says that since he was 18 years old, he has known Swerve as Shane. And while MJF was signing with AEW and going on to become the greatest homegrown talent in their history, Shane went over to WWE, which elicited a loud boo, and he was like, come on, guys, it's a pretty good company. And then he said that Shane was over there floundering, although MJF did really like the part where he was twerking for top dollar.
Yeah.
And then Shane came across the street.
AJ Francis. Get it right.
Then Shane came across the street, and MJF opened the door for him, and Swerve went on to accomplish a lot, including winning the tag titles and holding the world title for over 100 days. I think it was like 146 or something that Swerve had it for. Max had it for over 450, but who's counting? But now they have
not him.
Yep. But now they have a problem, because Shane is in Mac's way, and he's just going Swerve stomping around all over the house, being a very bad tenant. And problem is, this is not Swerve's house. This is his house, and the rent is due. So on December 27th, he's going to handle all his family business one night like Michael Corleone, getting back his Triple B because he's better than you, and you know it. So
is Triple B, I forget, it's Big Burberry belt, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's actually said the acronym.
Yeah, what it is. Yeah.
But all right, James, a lot of different directions you could go in here, between the promo itself to what this means with MJF coming back on a grander scale, to what this means on a shorter timeline for World's End and that match. So take your pick.
What up, Dev? How you doing,
Dev?
pal? Welcome up. All right, so let's go kind of chronologically here. I thought the initial promo exchange between Hangman and Swerve and Joe was very good. Joe sort of filled his role a little bit, nothing like crazy, nothing outstanding, but solid and what we needed from the champion in that moment. Swerve, I like the fact that he says, look, no matter who was the champion, I was coming for the title, whether it was Hangman or Joe or whoever. I was coming for it. So I like that. I like that he is still staying true to who that character is, which is I'm coming for the gold and I am the top of the company. I like that. It felt real. It felt genuine. I also like that he go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, that also mirrored what Heyman had been saying the last few weeks when Eddie was challenging Joe for the title. He was like, I'm coming for whoever has it. I want my title back.
Yeah.
So they're mirroring each other as is tradition.
Beyond just mirroring, it showcases that it doesn't matter who you are in this company. Your goal should be that title. Doesn't matter if you're a good guy. Doesn't matter if you're a bad guy. Doesn't matter if you're friends. Doesn't matter if you hate each other. Doesn't matter what your history or past is with anybody. The goal should be the belt. So I like that. I really do. It feels real. I like that Hangman also said, when I won the title, my goal was to give a shot to everyone that helped me get it. Darby, Ospreay, Joe was going to get a shot. He did give him a shot. And he says he would have given it to Swerve too. I love that. And I believe it. I genuinely believe it. And it shows how much those characters have grown. It shows how much the dynamic has evolved. Can you imagine a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Hangman saying, I would have gladly given a shot to Swerve? Yeah, he made it his whole life. He made it his whole life mission. I will not let this man win the world championship ever again. He cost him number one contenders matches. And I love how far they've developed. And I really do enjoy the dynamic of the three of them. Moving past that to MJF's return, I thought it was great. I was telling you before we went on air, I kind of unfortunately got spoiled for the MJF return because obviously this wasn't live. This was taped earlier in the day because of the time difference, because of them being in Manchester. I got spoiled for the return, but not the details. I just saw him making his entrance, and given the fact that we were getting the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, I thought that's where we were going to see him. I thought he was going to return in that Battle Royal. So I was pleasantly surprised still, and I really appreciate that. And I talked about the hair, and it sounded jokingly, but it was a genuine compliment. But beyond that, I think he looked great. The last, like, no disrespect to MJF, but the last few times we had seen him, the last run and a half that he was with AEW, the guy looked tired. The guy looked a little run ragged. And he looked amazing here. He looked like a goddamn megastar, not superstar, megastar. And he carried himself like a star. The confidence, the crowd fed into that. They ate him up. It was amazing. And I'm always going to appreciate him. I think we needed this little bit of a break from him. I do.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, it's just the nature of wrestling, because there is no off season. Sometimes people get hot, sometimes people get cold, and sometimes people just feel like they're just there. MJF should never just feel like he's just there. And I'm excited that he's here right now. Now, getting into the stuff I really wanted to talk about, I am fascinated that he added himself to this matchup. And I understood his reasoning. I get what he was saying. He is addressing his enemies. Yeah, I totally understand. And this goes into the nature of what Tony Khan did with this contract. Are you telling me the pop wouldn't have been disgustingly big if he didn't just show up at the pay-per-view and he was inserted into the match?
Well, he showed up after the match, although I guess Tony did have the week stipulation, which I think is what you're saying is kind of screwing it all up here.
Yes. The fact that you need to announce ahead of time that you're going to cash in this contract was stupid. It just was. It takes away the most exciting aspect. There is nothing that separates it from being a number one contender for any other reason. From winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal or the Owen or anything else. It being a Money in the Bank type situation separated it. And it's a shame that it's not active. Now, beyond that, I loved, and I think this is copium. I think I am reading too much into it because I really want it. I want to believe the reason MJF really interrupted Shivani is because he did not, in fact, add himself to the match.
I was going to say, I think I know where you're going with this.
But he, in fact, is just he's announcing he is going to challenge for the title at the pay-per-view, but it's going to be after the triple threat. Now, granted, maybe he will be in the fatal, maybe he just somehow got himself in the fatal four-way, but the contract he signed in the ring was just for after the match. And if he is, I think that is a brilliant way of handling it.
Yeah, I think honestly, because as you've been saying this, because you alluded to it earlier, I was like, I know exactly where he's going with this. MJF is probably going to lose, like, not get pinned, but somebody else will win, and he's going to be like, sorry, buddy, my contract says I get the match now.
Yeah.
And he just kind of manipulated and schmoozed his way in to this 4-way, and then he'll get the match.
I think it is the best way of bringing back the surprise factor of that contract and playing into the devious son of a bitch that MJF is. Now, granted, probably all copium, probably me just being very, very hopeful, very, very marky right now, but 'tis the season to be marky. So but we'll see. Either way, this was very, very well done. I had loved how he addressed everybody because he's had beef with all of them. His Hangman feud was great. They teased the hell out of him and Swerve when he was still champion.
Yep.
And Joe, obviously, he and Joe have unfinished business. So I thought this was great. I'm super into it. I'm very excited for World's End. I think it's going to be an incredible pay-per-view. So I really need an incredible pay-per-view after this last weekend.
James is broken from John Cena, guys, if you didn't watch that video.
Yeah.
I'll start with MJF and his looks just because I've been thinking about it. He looks, and I mean this, like he looks older. He looks more mature. Because
he looks like a man.
Yeah. You know, he's always kind of looked like a bit of a kid, and I think it had to do just with the way he was cutting his hair. It was very high, you know, on the sides, and now it's a little further down, and it's just gelled back instead of just kind of pushed back. Yeah, he looks like far more of an adult. He looks way more mature, and he looks like he put on a little bit of muscle. Like it's hard to tell.
He looks lean. He looks lean.
Yeah. But he looks bigger too in the same way. So he looks phenomenal, and that is only going to help him. It's really hard. You know, I mentioned long term to see where he's going. Obviously, MJF being back is good for business with AEW. But it's hard to tell how this plays out long term just because we don't know if he's going to get the title.
Yeah,
we can really kind of project out after World's End in, you know, was it like a week and a half? So it's tough. I see, you know. It's, you know, it's, I know. Yeah, you know, it's saying getting married will age you fast.
And we have a bunch of comments that we're going to get to.
Yeah, we will get to.
Hold on, guys.
Yes, we will. I think I'm going to say, surprisingly, there is one small downside to this.
Yeah, what's that?
I was really looking forward to the dynamic of the rematch for the title between Joe, Swerve, and Hangman, because we got this once before. If you remember, I had to look it up, but it was at Revolution 24.
Yeah,
and I believe it was for the title.
I think so too. And Joe won because he beat Hangman.
Right, because Hangman and Swerve just kept trying to kill each other because they were in the midst of their giant feud. So the fact that they're now more focused on killing Joe together and then having more of a respectful duel, for lack of a better phrase, I think it would have been a very interesting dynamic to just watch the three of them go back at it and do the same match with a completely different storyline to it. So
I agree, but if I can rebut really quickly, I think given where these characters' alignments are now, MJF or anybody makes this a lot more interesting, because if we got the triple threat that was initially advertised, you heard Hangman's promo. I don't know who's winning. All I know is you're not winning.
Yep.
It becomes a lot harder justifying if they are a unified front. It becomes a lot harder to justify Joe squeezing out the win. But with MJF there, who's got no allegiance to anybody but himself, does not matter to him who he beats to take that title back. You spice it up, and now you're adding a real mystery and a real way that Joe could retain. Now, I'm not saying I want Joe to retain. I'm fine with it if he does. I think this title reign just got started, like a month ago? Yeah. So I'm fine if he does retain. Arguably, he should get a big defense in. But now I see how you can. And it won't feel as convoluted if it was just the three of them. Because then at a certain point, you have to have Swerve and Hangman going at it and them costing each other the belt. And then that kind of leads to, well, what are they going to do after the match? And I don't need them to have another match yet. I don't. I'm more intrigued at them possibly uniting as a team. But all that said, really, really enjoyed all of this. I get why you wanted the triple threat. I'm content.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad that we lost it. I just thought it was very interesting and intriguing, and it still can be interesting and intriguing in the future. But the fact that we ended up with this instead, I was just like, I was kind of looking forward to that. But this still is going to slap. So I'm not very mad about it, to say the least. A lot of comments.
Yeah, a lot of comments. Sorry, guys. We got into it. I think we could start with Maria's comment here.
Yep.
Gunn.
I got Tony Khan should have waited for Swerve to come back and then book Swerve versus Hangman 1-on-1 for the title, have Swerve win, and then bring in MJF. So that would have precluded Joe winning the championship at all.
So, Maria, respectfully, I'm going to disagree. Going back on what I said, I'm not ready for them to have another one-on-one matchup, especially when their past feud was so hot and so heated. Them just going one-on-one for the title upon his return, it just doesn't build up the same way. And I don't need them, if they ever wrestle again, to be at that level of hatred that they were at before. I'd be fine with them having a one-on-one match built on respect and for the title. But I think more time needs to pass first.
Yeah, so, we need to earn that level of respect more. Not just with each other, but as fans. We can see it's kind of there. Yeah. But they gotta really kind of prove it to us and go through some wars together before we get there, I think.
I'm also of the belief that Swerve, I've heard from many people that even though they were very happy Bryan Danielson did win the AEW World Championship, a lot of people were upset that it came at the expense of Swerve's title reign, which, as Rev pointed out the time before, was only around 140, 50 days. So if / definitely when Swerve wins the world title again, I think he's due for a long, healthy reign, and I'd rather him have that than win the title just to immediately drop it to MJF. So I get where you're coming from. I hope I gave you some reasons to think about it maybe a little differently.
Yes, and I would concur.
It's saying that's a blanket for both sides. I
believe he was referring to politicians being scumbags from an earlier joke.
Not wrong.
I got you here, Dave. All right. Yep. MJF did have an amazing crowd reaction. Obviously, the British brought it as usual tonight. Oh, yeah. Because it's the British.
As an American, I hate how much they show us up.
I know. Oh, I always say that we need to get more chance and figure them out. And not just in wrestling, but in other sporting events.
It's not even just chance, it's energy.
Yep.
There's a genuine excitement and energy with foreign fans.
I also think there's a lot more beer flowing, especially in the UK.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Maria calling MJF as well the best heel in wrestling. Interesting question from Tyler as we say hello to Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Who do you think has the better promo right now, MJF or LA Knight?
It's unfortunately it's hard for me to say because it feels like such apples and oranges. MJF, yes, you could compare fruit. MJF has his catchphrases, but they're less catchphrase and more zingers, as opposed to LA Knight, who's very catchphrase heavy and is more charismatic. They're both charismatic. I'm not trying to pretend that MJF isn't charismatic, but there's a snarkiness to MJF as opposed to LA Knight, who's the cool guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Knight is also face at the moment, and MJF is also heel. But I think MJF really only has "I'm better than you," and you know it as a catchphrase, so to speak. He has nicknames he calls everybody, Seabiscuit and so on.
Well, the devil one too. He's got the devil.
Oh yeah. Which he borrowed. He only uses it every once in a while, and the real like catchphrase of it, he'll call himself the devil.
Level on the same level as the devil, or something.
Oh yeah, that's
like
true.
That.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but he uses it more as an exclamation point or to close things. Yeah. Whereas LA Knight has with everybody saying to finish things out, but he'll, all the time and call people a dummy. And, he'll use catchphrases throughout his promo. And I think that's a bigger difference. And it also it's depending too, like that's what WWE wants from their guys to get the crowd like interacting with the promos.
Stuff to put on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Whereas, AEW, like they want the crowd to interact obviously with the promos and cheer and stuff, but it's more verbal evisceration and oh shit than chanting along with the guy saying something. So I think they're both great promos. I love both of them. Shoes of a champion, but did I say shoes of a champion? But it's really tough to tell. I think you put LA Knight in AEW, I think he's fine. You put MJF in WWE, he's fine.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Good debate though. Good debate.
Yeah.
It's saying the crowd popped so hard that he thought it was Spike Dudley.
I don't know if you saw, it. I think at WrestleCon they announced that they are going to have the first ever 3 Dudley Boy brothers signing together. Bubba Ray, Devon, and Spike together doing a signing for the first time ever.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
See, Tyler thought that MJF was going to show up at World's End, but now he's here already. So, hey, you know what? It'll help sell tickets. But you were right. Yep, cat, drink. Maria, in opposition to you, James, agrees with Tony's decision to put that weak stipulation on the contract, saying AEW fans don't want the contract to be Money in the Bank. Remember the Christian thing from last year.
I get that. I'll be honest too. Like I've seen that's a common sentiment. There were a lot of people that were happy that they got rid of the Money in the Bank
aspect
of it. Thank you. I get it, and it's just taste. I like the surprise notion of it, and again, with how many tournaments and high-profile number one contender spots AEW tends to create, I like that it was different. I think the biggest thing here, though, is when you have it on someone like MJF, it's more fun when he's as conniving as possible with it.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone. It's going to be like if Will Ospreay has it and he's sneaky about it, it doesn't feel the same. But MJF doing it, that's the character. But either way, I think it's just taste, matters of taste with us. And I don't think anyone's wrong. It was my regret.
I still like your idea. Let's see.
I hope.
Maria saying that she thinks MJF should win the championship at the 4-way. She also thinks that MJF is better than Knight, calling him her favorite scumbag. Oh, yeah, I'm your favorite scumbag. Yeah, and he did that more when he was a face. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I think they're just good on different levels.
Yeah, and then... it's saying music-wise, the UK and all of South America puts U.S. crowds to shame, especially in metal.
If only Danny were here.
Yes, I would say I'll trust your judgment on that one. I totally forgot I had a whole nother banner for MJF returning, and I forgot to put it up. Oh, well. Let's cycle back around to the top of the show here as we get into our opening match, which saw Jon Moxley face off against Roderick Strong in a Continental Classic Blue League match. Loser would be eliminated. So this was an eliminated match. To jump to the end of this here, as Moxley crawled to the ropes to escape a stronghold, Roddy tried to pull him back and readjust his grip by flipping Moxley over, and that allowed Moxley to hit a couple of up kicks that sent Roddy out of the ring. Strong quickly jumped back into the ring, though, and he rushed back in, but he's rushed right into Jon Moxley's awaiting arms, and Mox caught him and planted him with a paradigm shift. Mox was unable to capitalize, though, because Roddy had been going after Moxley's leg, that bad leg that had started injured with Kyle O'Reilly. Roddy actually used the ankle lock a few times throughout this match, and it's something that's been lingering with Moxley throughout the tournament. So with the length of time it took Moxley to get to Roddy and make the cover, Roddy was able to kick out. Moxley got right back up, though, and hit Roddy with a Death Rider, and that finished him off, and Mox kept him down for the 3. So Moxley is now at 6 points. He is currently tied for second, and one Roderick Strong is eliminated. Although I guarantee he gets a win before this ends. But
yeah, I would. He's not a Mark Briscoe where it's almost endearing. It would just be bad for Roddy.
I agree. In terms of the match, though, James, this was good. It was hard hitting. I like the psychology of Roddy going after the leg.
Yeah.
Trying to use the ankle lock a la Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah. And I also like there was some desperation out of these guys here tonight because they knew that if they lost, they were going to be eliminated. So I like that. I like the fact that they showed that desperation and it came through during the match.
See, I was actually going to comment on that, saying that while I saw it and they definitely played it up, I didn't feel it to the level that I thought should have been displayed. I actually felt it, shockingly, a lot more with Fletcher and Pac. And at least from Fletcher. And I'll get into why in a second.
Yeah, I have some ideas about that too.
But I enjoyed the matchup. I feel really bad for Roddy because I like there's just never an instance where I feel like this guy has been given enough of a shot. And I say that like he won the AEW International Championship. He did have a good little run with the Kingdom with Bennett and Taven, where they were doing comedic gold, where he was in the neck brace and everything.
Oh yeah, not to mention all the great vignettes they did when Cole was hurt.
Yes. So it's a shame that I feel like he obviously and clearly has the potential for more, but he's also at that stage in his career where it feels like he's definitely more of the I'm putting someone over type. So sad to see him eliminated. I'm with you. I think he's going to get a win before things are over, but it's shame for him. Mox obviously needed the win.
Yeah.
And again, going into the Pac and Fletcher match, the numbers are very interesting. So Mox now has 6 points.
Yeah. No,
Pac came in. Yeah.
Pac and Fletcher in Gold League, though.
No, I know that, but okay. I'm talking in terms of Death Riders.
Okay, yeah. So Claudio is 7, I believe.
Yes.
Claudio and Takeshita have 7, and Moxley is behind them.
Now it's 6. Now it's 6.
Yes, he is now at 6.
And Pac went into the night with 3, and we'll talk about more after. But Mox is trying to keep up.
Yep.
That's the big one. He's trying to keep up. So I all very interesting dynamics at play.
Yeah. To jump to the comments real quick, Maria called it a great match. Yes. She's asking for a Roddy heel turn. He's kind of tweenerish right now just because he's being a dick to the conglomeration, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't be opposed to the heel turn. The problem is he cannot do it on his own.
Yeah, he needs Kyle, and we're not booing Kyle.
And not even just Kyle. He would need someone. And we've seen that he's funny. We've seen that he can be funny and can have personality, but he's still not the best promo. And when you're a heel, you need someone, you need to be good at the promo. And unless he got someone cutting his promos for him, or he's a part of a team where he doesn't have to do it as much on his own, he's got to stick with what he's doing right now.
Yeah, which I think is working great. And at some point, I think we're going to get the, all right, I'm in the conglomeration thing. Yeah. Begrudging as it may be, and it's going to get a huge pop. So
yeah, I think so too.
That's why we're sticking there. It referencing something that happened a bit later, but the Mox promo.
I mean, we could talk about it now. There's
Mox promo at the start of the collision did see very face.
He has been slowly inching his way closer to babyface territory, and I'm not against it. It's not. It doesn't really feel super genuine to me, considering this was a guy who was almost killing someone by pouring bleach down their throat a few months ago.
Yeah.
This is somebody who tried suffocating Bryan Danielson with a plastic bag. So, like, yes, he's definitely inching towards face. And the crowd's going to eat it up because they want to cheer Moxley. But it still feels a little forced to me.
I'll just to quickly run through what Moxley said. So this was a start of Collision, and he says that he likes the C2 because it's simple. You step in the ring, you bring what you have, and it gets laid bare. And the deeper you get into the tournament, the more it reveals about everyone in it, because those people have to show, amount of guts and fortitude to get through. Mm-hmm. Mox says that this is all he wanted as he pushed people's buttons to get this out of them, with some people like Kyle O'Reilly turning into monsters who want to rip his ankle out of his socket. As for the tournament, he's got the elite of the elite left, so he's going to lay it all out there. But I think, James, there's a little small thing in here that kind of caught my ear, was him saying that this is what he wanted, and maybe he's almost kind of letting off the gas a little because he thinks AEW is in the place where he wanted it to be from when he started the Death Riders. And it could be possible, like, that is the emphasis of his face turn when the Death Riders are like, wait, so we're letting off the gas? That's not what we do. Like, you can even, like, Moné was talking about Pac's preparation upon his comeback and his entry into the C2. He was like, I delved deeper into the Death Riders, like, morals and or mottos of, like, preparation and outworking everybody and all that stuff. And if Mox is just like, well, we don't really got to do that anymore, guys. Like, we're done here. I think they're all going to be like, no, we're fucking not. See him as weak and then beat him up and throw him out. And then Moxley has to kill the monster he created.
He tried suffocating someone with a plastic bag. He tried drowning Darby Allin.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying it seems to me that might be the direction they're starting to take. All right. Moving along, we got a quick backstage promo from Eddie Kingston after his loss to Samoa Joe last week. And he says that even though he tapped out to Joe, he doesn't see it as a loss because either you win or you lose something. And after that, he has learned something.
He didn't give up. He just tapped. He didn't give up.
Well, after Joe shouted out Cena shouted out Joe and Eddie. Anyway. Now everyone's going, everyone that Eddie faces is going to figure out what he learned in that match, and he offered up a challenge for the special edition of Collision on Saturday. After that, we went to our next match, which saw
Can I ask you a quick question?
The elite. Break it down. No. Yeah, I got it.
If we're getting Collision on Saturday, why the fuck was this 3 hours?
I don't know, because they're taping tonight too. I think this might have been like 5 hours and they taped 2 collisions. I don't know if it was because there was dark stuff before this or what. Because they did put out an episode of Dark on YouTube.
That they did. And I know Toni apparently had to get like permission.
Yeah, not surprised, but or at least put it on YouTube. I'm sure he could do Dark whenever he wants.
Well, yes, he could do Dark as long as it's not aired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if the show was, because I saw people saying it was 5 hours, so I don't know if they double tape Collision and then now it's and that second Collision hour, 2 hours, is going to be on Saturday, or they're doing it tomorrow. I don't know what the hell's going on. But go ahead. You can answer your Noah's question. Was John Cena tapping the worst thing you ever saw in wrestling?
I'm dead inside. All right. Just quick little anecdote.
All right. Hang on.
As after the show ended, I was on Twitter and there was a woman in a hospital bed. I'm not saying this jokingly. This is legit. She was in a hospital bed, tube in her nose. And she says, John Cena told me it's okay to give up. And the woman is legitimately sick. She's had a rough year. She said that she uses comedy as a coping mechanism. It's like a dark outlet.
Yeah, you gotta take the piss.
And John Cena told her it's okay to give up. So I'm dead inside. I will never recover. Gunther
Public enemy number one?
I've been shocked. What?
I said public enemy number one.
I've been shocked before. I'll do what I gotta do, man. Enemy for life.
Speaking of faux life, the Elite are back together, and they're facing off against Don Callis family members Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita. So in a winner-takes-all match for that $1 million that the Bucks won all the way back at the last pay-per-view. Full Gear. So the Bucks actually came out to the BTE theme. Thank you, Charlie.
Yep.
And then they were joined by Kenny, and Kenny's music hit, and they walked down to the ring for that. Things fell apart for the family in this match late in it when Takeshita tagged in Hechicero and tried to call a play between the two of them and Okada, as they had, I believe, Kenny down in the middle, and all three men were in the corners. Oh, excuse me, it was Matt. So Takeshita's like, all right, on one, ready? Tres, dos, uno. They all run in, and Takeshita and Hechicero go for knees or whatever, and instead Okada decides not to play along. And he picks Matt up, and he goes for the Rainmaker. However, Matt ducks it and then counters, and everything goes to hell for the Don Callis family, and the Elite are able to take the advantage. And this all led to Hechicero getting singled out. I actually did... No, Takeshita had knocked over Okada earlier. Okada didn't hit the Rainmaker on him here. But either way, Hechicero was left 3-on-1 in the ring, and we got the old triple super kick to the head. He got thrown in the ropes for a V-trigger, and then Kenny hit him with a one-winged angel with the aerial assist from the Bucks.
I love that. I thought that was incredible.
I don't know if they'd ever used it.
I don't think so. I think that's the first time I've seen them hit that version of the one-winged angel. And for a move that is as specific as it is, like, Kenny has to get you in a very specific position to hit that move.
Yeah.
He has found ways with various partners over the years to really make it unique. He's done interesting things with Coda. He had that great one with the hidden blade with Ospreay.
Oh, yeah.
And now here, like, just bravo.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So I'll quickly do it after the match. Don had the money at the table, so because he was on the announce desk, and he tried to escape with it. But Takeshita and Okada attacked the Elite from behind, with Kenny getting thrown out of the ring. He actually might have got hit with a Rainmaker. The two then repeatedly hit the Bucks with Rainmakers and Raging Fires, going back and forth on Nick and Matt, attempting to one-up each other until they go face-to-face. And then that forces Don to abandon the money as he gets up on the apron and attempts to get Okada and Takeshita to come apart as they begin shoving each other. But everything gets broken up when the Cleaner gets into the ring with a wooden broom.
I love it.
Good
that was part of his original gimmick. When he first became the Cleaner, he came out with a broom.
Yeah, I remember when he turned heel in Daly's place. He had the chicks come out with the brooms. Like, good news for the Bucks, though, as referee Rick Knox was able to retrieve the bag and give them their money, and that means Knox can start getting paid again. But James, this was a lot of fun. I mean, you know, classic. I was going to almost say classic PWG match, but this felt like more of like a crazy New Japan match, considering you had Takeshita and you had Okada, and Hechicero's been in New Japan enough. So that's what this felt like.
I'm gonna one up you a little bit. It felt more like an old school Ring of Honor match, where it was like clearly there is a competitive nature to it that is, you know, at the forefront. But they're also just going to do some wild shit too. Yeah. So for me, it reminded me of Ring of Honor from back in the heyday.
I don't think there was that era though, especially when I started getting into Ring of Honor in New Japan. There was so much crossover. A lot of those matches felt similar to me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This was my favorite match of the night, surprising nobody. It felt so good to see the Elite back.
Yep.
Like, I know we're too old to be using terms like this, but we do anyway. The aura is just there when the three of them are together. They feel complete as a unit. I think Kenny looked really good in this matchup. I think he only had like one moment where he stumbled a little bit.
He went to the "you can't escape" and he slipped on the front flip. Other than that, and they saved it fine.
Yeah, and it's the one move that he seems to have trouble with nowadays. That he'll coming out of the front flip, like he doesn't always land it like 100% right.
Yeah.
But either way, it worked. They, like you said, they saved it. It didn't distract from the matchup in any way. Still stand by the fact everyone's making a big deal about the AJ Styles botch. Like, I didn't think it was that big a deal. But yeah, it was just great seeing them together. I love the finish. I love that combination of the One-Winged Angel with I think that was like the TK driver? Not the TK driver, the Meltzer driver.
The Meltzer driver and the TK driver are the same thing.
Yeah.
Because all right, there's the Meltzer driver and the TK driver are the same thing, and there's the one where they flip,
Indie Taker,
the Indie Taker, yeah, and then the one where they don't. And I'm trying to remember which one's which. And
the Indie Taker had the flip. The Indie Taker had the flip. The Meltzer / TK driver didn't have the flip.
Yeah, and this was more of what they've been doing lately, just to the boost when Nick can't come off the ropes.
Yeah.
So whether or not, because they always used to use that for, they would use it in a lot of triple team matches where somebody would hit like a pile driver and they would go, especially a package, like they would go and kick and then the person would drop.
Yeah. I thought the match truly, like, I know obviously I'm going to have bias because of how much I love Kenny and how much I love this style. I really did think it was a fun match from beginning to end. It is getting a bit hard to justify Don not acknowledging Okada and Takeshita's beef.
Yeah, I was expecting something backstage later in the episode. We didn't.
Yeah, like at this point, they have officially cost him $1 million here.
Yeah.
Granted, it's $1 million he never should have been like. That should never have been available to him, but they cost him $1 million in this situation. Like, if that doesn't get him off his ass to say, you guys got to figure it out or you want someone's going, then I don't know what will. Hechicero is just a gift. Just keeps on giving, you know. He shows up when he has to show up. He does what he has to do.
Does the cool ball thing.
and Don was doing it too.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It was funny. Strong matchup. I think all three delivered. I agree with Maria that I would love to see Kenny get back into the world title picture. I just unfortunately don't think it's in the cards. I would love to be surprised. I would love to be surprised because I think he deserves a babyface title reign. But I think we, as you pointed out a week or two ago, we're closer to the end than we've ever been before. And he's with them, not because I think he's saying goodbye anytime immediately, but I think he's with the Bucks again because he needs to be with the Bucks. I think he's capable of having the occasional strong singles match. But I think him being in trios is to prolong his career.
Yep.
And as I said a couple weeks ago, I will gladly say again, I would rather take Kenny in trios than no Kenny at all. And I think those are our options at this point. We either get a few singles matches out of him now and then that's it, or we deal with the trios for as long as we can and figure it out from there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like you said, like it just helps protect him. Even if he's still working his way back and he can get back to a position where he can eventually challenge for the world title again, it has to start somewhere. And this is the best way to get him started, as he can be in the ring a little bit more and do less and get, his sea legs under him back under him, for lack of a better phrase. Maria did call the match, though, fun and excellent.
Yes.
It said good match. He thought it needed to be a little more up tempo because the crowd was kind of begging for it. And I think you could have had that type of match, like the PWG Spot Fest type of match, but
just never ending action.
Yeah. And the crowd would have loved that. But I think it was more on the side of the Don Callis family Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero don't really lend themselves too much to those big high-flying jumpy spots. And Takeshita can do some, but he gets some big spots, but Okada's not doing those right now.
And they needed to tell the story of Okada and Takeshita. If it's just them sprinting to the finish line, it's a lot harder to find those moments where they're messing with each other and costing them the match. So I get it. It would have been fun, but I think they had the match that they needed to have.
Not to mention, you had the big moment where Kenny and Okada faced off for the first time ever on Dynamite. So
that's nuts. Yeah.
I like Maria, and it made the same joke at the same time, saying that Gunther's going to retire Kenny.
Gunther is going to be my like the thought that Gunther is going to retire both AJ and Brock next year fills me with so much dread.
You think he retires Styles?
I mean, they hinted at it on Raw.
I guess that's true.
And
I desperately, AJ's one of the few guys I'm just like, I need him in AEW, and I don't need him for a lot.
Yeah, I just don't think
5 matches.
I agree. I completely agree. Kenny, Ospreay, Swerve, Hangman,
Okada.
Yeah.
I might even take Swerve out of there. Like, I love Swerve, but like, I want dudes with history with Bullet Club to face AJ,
Beyond Bullet Club, I would probably take Swerve out and put Joe in.
Oh yeah, one more with Joe, definitely. But yeah, my big three, I need that Ospreay match. That's the number one thing I want.
Yeah.
And Kenny would be great.
I need the Kenny match because there's actually history there.
Yeah.
That never ever got resolved.
I was gonna say they literally booted his ass out. He never came back.
So I'm gonna ask you now. I'm gonna give you the devil's bargain. You get AJ, but you only get AJ if you get AJ for a year. You get AJ for a year. 6 months is him in trios with the Good Brothers. Do you take that deal? Okay.
No, yeah, beat up Kenny Omega. Like,
I would love Kenny and the Bucks versus AJ and the Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers. Oh, the Good Brothers turned on him too, so
yeah. Well, all right, they got over it. Clearly,
that's very true.
Clearly, they got over it.
I had somebody else. Jay White versus AJ Styles.
See, all right. I'm gonna be real with you. The only reason I want to see it is because I want to see a version of what we already got in WWE, but I want to see the phenomenal forearm into the switchblade.
Ooh, that'd be
or
fun.
The Blade Runner, whatever it's called, his finish.
Blade Runner.
That's the reason why I want to see it. But we got that in WWE with him and Bray. Bray just took the phenomenal forearm into his sister Abigail. So, like,
John Cena just did that too, didn't he?
I'm sure he did.
No, and their match together. Cena, kind of the forearm.
So I am cool with it. I would take it, but at the very least, or at the very most, that's 6. When I mention all those other matches, I'd rather see.
Yeah,
like Kenny, Joe, Ospreay. Yeah, but I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
Ospreay's the big one though. Maria, you're breaking my heart here. We were Raw versus the Elite versus the Undisputed.
I thought you were saying Chase U.
No.
I'm kidding. It's a shame. That was legitimately just unfortunate health circumstances for everybody. Kenny going down, Adam Cole going down, Bobby Fish killing his career. Just, it's a bummer. We had been teased Kenny versus Adam Cole since before AEW existed. And no company has delivered on it. Ring of Honor couldn't deliver on it. New Japan couldn't deliver on it. AEW couldn't deliver on it. It's nuts. How, to me, that is one of the biggest what-if matches of all time. And, like, obviously, for so many reasons, we would love to see Adam Cole come back. But considering that he might not come back, even if he does, I don't even know how you slot that match at this point.
Yeah. Well, there's always, Kenny had him killed.
How many times? And honestly, got to get over it at a certain point.
It is wrestling after all.
Yeah, it's wrestling. Everybody dies once or twice.
Real quick, speaking of health issues, Matt Jackson's back to selling his lower back. He lost the muscle.
Yeah,
he lost the muscle, and he got leaner, and now he's back to selling his lower back. Yep. You gotta love it. All right. After this match, we had the whole men's contract signing and the return of MJF, and that led into a jet speed backstage promo that I almost skipped. But the short version is not skipped on purpose, like I was fast forwarding through because I had to pause 18 fucking times during that long ass promo. But basically, Speedball and Kevin Knight faced off against each other. Speedball came through. And now they're looking forward and focusing on it being a jet speed final in the Continental Classic. All right, we went to commercial.
It's nice to dream.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Speedball has a legitimate shot.
Yeah, no, he's tied. He could do it, but yeah.
Yep. All right. After that, we went to a big women's tag team match. It was the Babes of Wrath and the Timeless Love Bombs facing off against Mercedes Moné, Athena, and the Mega Problems.
So let me just say, this crowd lost the right for AEW to ever come back with how loud they chanted Babes of Wrath.
Go back again. Go back more, actually. You think they weren't going to chant for Willow and Harley? Are you insane?
Let's go, Willow. Let's go, Harley. I will not chant that team name.
At least I got you to say it when they won the title.
They earned it.
Yep. This match came about on Collision after Mercedes interrupted a Babes of Wrath victory celebration, and then she called out both them and the Timeless Love Bombs and had to put together a team, and here's what we got. To jump to the end of the match here, basically everyone just hit a bunch of moves on the outside, which culminated in Willow hitting a cannonball onto Megan Bayne, and then she jumped back in the ring to go after Mercedes, whom she had taken out before the cannonball with a pounce. However, Athena had recovered from whatever she got hit with. I think it was a Mina Shirakawa flip of some sort. And she snuck up and climbed to the top rope. So when Willow rolled back into the ring, she got blindsided with an O-face that really came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then Mercedes, who was legal, got a quick pin on
that pin.
Yep, on Willow, and then they were able to escape with the win.
It happened so fast, I didn't even really process how it finished. Like, I saw it, but it happened so quickly.
It was 1, 2, 3, and Mercedes was on the floor by 4.
Yeah. Yep. it was like
wicked fast.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun, though. Yeah. I did miss a little bit of it just because I was so far behind. I missed a touch, but the rest of it I very much enjoyed. And we don't get to say it a lot with the women because I feel like they don't get these big matches sometimes. But it's one of those matches where there's just too much talent in the ring for it to be bad.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I enjoyed it a good bit. There was a moment where I thought to myself, I was like, wow, Toni is just putting all the women in one match on Dynamite. But then I realized there really weren't that many matches on the card. They all just got a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So I quickly got over it because I thought, you know what? At least they got 8 women here, so I'll take it in this scenario.
They got a whole. Did they get 1 commercial break or 2?
I think it was one, at least one. Definitely,
but
at least one.
Yeah, but it was long, and then they went. So they started before the commercial. They got a good few minutes before the commercial, had the break, and then went all the way to the next break.
Yeah. So it's great, and that's what you want to see. You want to see them showcased, and they were showcased. So I thought it was very well handled. I thought the match was a lot of fun. I'm very happy and impressed with Marina Shafir.
She's been looking good.
She has really been looking good in the ring. I'm almost intrigued to see where this goes with the Death Riders for her, because I feel like she's going to seamlessly get herself into the women's division in a way that she really hasn't been. Like, obviously, that started with her teaming with Bayne, Blood and Guts, the tournament, all that stuff. But once her involvement with the Death Riders changes and whatever that group goes through, whatever they go through, she's just going to have to go back to the women's division primarily, I'd imagine. Yeah. And I'm glad that she's showing that she can hang. So that was good stuff.
I don't want her on Ring of Honor too much, but she's a future pure champion, right?
No, sorry.
You don't think so?
Deanna's retiring with that belt in like 20 years. So yeah, no, sorry, Marina.
Oh, I guess she's more of a striker. Well, you just can't.
No, she would be perfect for pure, but
you're just such a fanboy. I got you.
I'm a realist, sir. Anyway, I regret nothing. I enjoyed the matchup. The crowd was hot for Toni, which should surprise nobody. Like, I almost felt bad for Harley because Harley was in the ring and they were chanting for Toni.
Well, it was the start of the match, right? And they were going to get off that Boney M. Toni Storm chant, if they killed them. But there was quite a few matches during this chant that I could make out some of them, and I'm usually pretty good at it.
Yeah. But they did a good job. The crowd was hot for the women, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And
Manchester accent's tricky.
Yes.
Give them the pure title.
So do you want to? I won't spoil it unless you guys want to hear it.
I don't want spoilers
For Saturday.
Yeah, I'll get around to watching it at some point.
Okay.
I've been making a point to watch Collision because A, the C2, and B, it's just been good.
Yeah. No, it has been. All right. All I'm going to say is watch Collision for the women on Saturday. That's all I'm going to say. Won't give any context.
Dope.
So, what?
I said dope.
Yeah. But fun matchup, and I'm glad they got as much time as they did.
Yeah. Maria, by the way, I see you're in the chat saying Athena got the victory. Mercedes got that pinfall.
She did, but I think she's just happy Athena got a win on Dynamite.
Yeah. No, she was saying my CEO is very gracious to allow Athena to get the pin. Athena hit the finisher. Mercedes got the pin.
Yeah.
So, but that was leading to the next comment that it made, saying the match feels beneath the CEO considering the number of titles she had. A, she's the one who called them all out. But B, more importantly, this setup what came later, which is inevitably, we'll get to it, but Mercedes and Athena going for the tag titles at World's End. So that's why they had this whole mess of a match. But I mean that in a good way, with so many people have messed.
And additionally, that promo also sets up Mercedes setting an open challenge.
Yeah.
Because she's feeling very confident because of what you said, that she felt that this was an easy dub and it was beneath her.
Yeah, which I'm fairly certain it has to do with said spoiler, but I don't want to know what it is. Even though Maria wants to. No.
Yeah. Maria, I would love to, but I got to respect my partner's wishes here.
All right. I think that's everything. Although Maria does agree with you that it's time for Marina to start being a regular in the women's division.
I just don't know where you slot her because she's not in a position to win either of the singles titles right now.
Yeah, and I think she's in a good spot with Bayne, right?
Yeah.
They're giving her someone else to work with that isn't the Death Riders, so that if that whole thing implodes and she can't be, or she just doesn't want to be with Moxley or whoever else, and she just leaves, someone. She's got a partner. So I know it came because of an injury to Penelope Ford, but it actually kind of ended up working out well for her.
Yeah,
and hopefully Ford doesn't get Wally pipped. Google it, kids. All right. Next up, we had another Continental Classic match, this time in the Gold League with Pac, hometown boy, facing off against home country boy. I don't think he's from Manchester. Was he from Norwich? I think so.
No,
anyway,
Newcastle.
Newcastle, thank you. He'd probably beat the shit out of me if he heard me say that. Anyway, he was facing off against Australian Kyle Fletcher. Got that one right. Anyway, to jump to the end of the match, Pac actually got Fletcher in a...
Whoa, no, pause.
I would say.
Maria, what are you saying? You're the CEO betrayal out of nowhere, ending the year with that turn. Wasn't expecting it. Yes, okay.
When Mercedes is done with her historical. Intriguing possibility, I will admit.
I think she's much better suited for the TBS title than she would be the world title at this point. But yeah.
Very intriguing.
Very intriguing.
Back to the men's match here, though. As I was saying, Pac had Fletcher in a standing brutalizer, which was pretty cool. And he got Fletcher down to the mat, and then Fletcher escaped for a moment, but Pac was able to get in the brutalizer on the mat. And he actually more or less passed Fletcher out with it. But as Fletcher was falling asleep, his foot landed on the bottom rope, so the referee was forced to break it up. Pac then hit that momentum lariat, but Kyle kicked out of it. So Pac went up top to go for the Black Arrow, but Fletcher was able to recover, and he jumped up and kicked the ropes to knock Pac off. Fletcher then hit a haluva kick in the corner and then hit the brainbuster, but Pac was able to kick out of it. So Fletcher brought him over to the corner, carried him up to the top ropes for the turnbuckle brainbuster, but Pac was able to maneuver his way out of it and hit an avalanche reverse poison Rana. I believe I heard Excalibur correctly there. Spiking Fletcher and basically sending him across the ring.
Yep.
Pac then ran to the opposite turnbuckle and climbed up and hit the Black Arrow, and he pinned Fletcher for the win.
Nuts.
And that now moves Pac into a 4-way tie for first in Gold League at 6 points with Fletcher, Speedball Mike Bailey, and I believe Kazuchika Okada. I believe so. Yes, it is Okada. So this Gold League is a mess.
Yeah,
but
in the best way.
Yes, it's great. But this match was not. It wasn't as good as Fletcher versus Speedball, but it rocked.
It did. I love the dynamic of this matchup, and we talked before about desperation because of how apparent it was for Roddy and Mox because it was losing you're out. But I felt a different type of desperation here. One from Fletcher, who is starting to sweat a little bit because he started this tournament white hot. He was ahead of everybody else. And now he's struggling a little bit. And what was once a sure thing is now a mess, as you so eloquently put it.
He beat Okada, and now he's lost back-to-back matches.
And for Pac, I believe it was also a lose and you're out situation. And if it wasn't, it was, I think, one more loss and he would have been out in the hole. But
I think if he lost, he would have had to win out and get some help, probably.
Yeah. But beyond that, the crowd was so into Pac.
Wonder why.
No, but it was awesome to hear. And even if Pac himself didn't play up to it too much, commentary did.
Yeah.
And it was a fun story between the two. So you definitely felt on both ends of it different reasons for really feeling like they're under the gun. Fletcher because of expectations and Pac because, like John Cena in Boston, on this night, I'm invincible. So
I'm going to change your adjective, I think it would be, because I don't think Fletcher really, he has pressure, like you said, for a different reason, but I think what he's doing is he's pressing because he lost. He was like, all right, I got to win this one because I just had that L. And he started to press and he took himself a little too far. He was like revving too hot. And I think you kind of saw that with the finishing sequence where he hit the haluva kick and he scrambled to get that brainbuster. And he probably hit it too quickly. I know that sounds weird, but he probably didn't execute it properly. Pac kicks out. I'm kind of regaling it here. But then he just scrambles to get him up to the top rope instead of doing it properly. And Pac is able to hit him with that that reverse Rana. So
did commentary say this was the first kick out of the brainbuster?
No, and it's not. No, people have Speedball kicked out of it last week.
Okay.
So I think that's what he's doing. He's pressing, and now he's going to press even more because despite the fact that he has a lot of poise for somebody so young, he still is very young. And there aren't a lot of instances where he faces a lot of adversity. And this is the first time really in the C2 ever for him where he is facing quite a bit.
I think the play moving forward is if they continue with the tie, which AEW has done before, where then they do like sudden death, where it's like, I think they did a multi-man match. I think they did a triple threat once. I think it comes back to the fact that Fletcher, I said Ospreay, Fletcher beat Okada already. I think Okada gets the win back.
Awesome.
So they've set this up beautifully. I love when there's this much thought into the outcome of tournaments like this. Like, not take away how I feel about what happened with it and how everything played out. Like, you compare this to WWE and their Cena tournament, where that was such a lifeless, empty tournament because we all knew from the moment it was announced, we knew who was winning it.
Yeah.
Like, there is just so much, there is just so much opportunity, so many options for fun and for surprises. And even though I think we both know what it's going to turn into, like I think we both know what the final match is going to be, they've set it up beautifully that anything can happen and I will believe it. So I'm really loving the tournament. I really enjoyed this matchup in particular. Really glad. So as we talked about before, Pac and Mox are tied now. Granted, different different leagues, blue and gold, but Mox is barely keeping his head above water. And if Pac ended up with less, it becomes a harder justification to kick Mox out if Mox is still doing better than the members of the team.
Yeah, because like I could totally see both Claudio and Pac having more points than Moxley at the end of all of this.
I think so too. Even if they don't win their blocks, I can still see it.
Yeah, and I was just looking it up just to see. Apparently, the tiebreakers are based on head-to-head during the tournament. I don't remember the triple threat. I kind of vaguely do. I just don't remember why it happened.
I thought it came down to Mox, Swerve, and Jay White in a triple threat.
Oh, that might have been the first one. So, okay, yeah, you're right. It was Mox, Swerve, and Jay White, and that was when they didn't do the top two people face in the semis. They didn't have semis the first year, so they had to get a single person, and they had the triple threat because they all tied.
All right.
And I guess they all kind of bumped each other off in terms of...
so like a rock, paper, scissors situation. Yeah. Okay. All right. At least I know I'm not crazy. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah, because you're right. They all had 12. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
That was also the year Eddie beat Brian and then went on to win.
Yeah.
That was
Although I still do not remember Brian being in that tournament at all. Like, I remember him losing to Eddie. I do not remember Brian in the tournament otherwise.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think it was still the top two. I just think they all tied. So they just, instead of having a top two match, they had a top three match.
Yeah. And I could see them. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see that happening here too.
Right. Because then, just to close the loop, Eddie had tied with Andrade with 9 points apiece, but Eddie had beaten Andrade. So then he faced Brian in the semis, and then Eddie went on.
Yeah. Because right now, if they don't do it where Okada and Fletcher run it back, and they base it off of who won previously, Fletcher has one up on Okada. So I can't imagine Okada's not going to the finals.
Yeah.
Well, no. I think there will be a year where the champion going into the tournament does not make it to the finals. Like, I think it'll happen eventually, either next year, 2 years, whenever. Okada is not the guy you do that with. You don't have Okada not make it to the end of the tournament.
Yeah. The only other person I was thinking is maybe Fletcher, so you get Fletcher versus Takeshita, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be Okada Takeshita at the end of it.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you're right, they need to wrap up that storyline. Not even wrap it up, but just get it going, or at least progress it to the next stage. Yeah. So
they need to acknowledge that there's a story.
Yeah, exactly. Well, commentary does. Don doesn't. Yeah. But this was a banger. It was great. Maria saying Pac finally finding his stride again. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt again. Knock on wood. Saying nice to see the Black Arrow back. That disappeared for a bit. He missed a bunch of them, I feel like, and had to roll throughout.
It's such a baby face move, and he's been the bastard for so long. We just don't get it the same way.
I did like when he was, early AEW, he'd hit it and then immediately lock in the brutalizer.
Yeah, so I think that's the perfect way to finish it.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect 1-2 combo.
I was a little surprised he didn't do that tonight, but he was at home.
I don't think they wanted Fletcher to tap.
Oh, yeah, that's probably.
I don't think they either wanted him to tap or pass out. A pin is a pin. It is, but
yeah, especially after that.
Yeah.
Maria saying that this is the best Continental Classic ever and calling it Fletcher's tournament to lose.
See, that's the thing. That's what I've been saying. And I think Fletcher has got that in his head now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out.
Also very happy that we got old school Pac back tonight. It did kind of feel a little more old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not putting up your college football jokes, because I'm a Notre Dame fan. And you know what? You can continue to cry all you want about us and our memorandum of understanding. All right.
Yes.
What's happening out for a week. So if we're continuing those jokes, though, I said I'm okay with the CEO holding all the titles until her retirement match against Gunther. Gunther jokes are great. They're gonna be so much fun.
I disagree. I will never be able to cheer this man ever. He could become the biggest baby face in professional wrestling. I will never be able to cheer him.
I believe you because you still boo Brock for Brock at SummerSlam.
Admittedly, that man has given me many reasons over the years to boo him, both in kayfabe and in real life.
Yep.
But yes, it all stems from. Honestly, it goes past The Rock. It goes from when he debuted, and then his first real feud was against the Hardys, and he allowed Paul Heyman to pin Jeff Hardy. I don't forget.
You know what? I've worn a jersey quite a few times. Both of my jerseys quite a few times here on the show. So not surprised that you know. All right. Let's hit up the main event of Dynamite, which was the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. And obviously, as we've seen in previous years, we have the Battle Royal. And the last two men, go on to face each other. This will be next week, I believe. And the winner gets the Dynamite Diamond ring. First surprise of the night. No MJF in this match.
I'm shocked. Like, beyond the fact that when he came out during his entrance, he made such a big deal of kissing the ring.
Yep.
Didn't they also used to do it? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. Same thing. Battle Royal, Final 2. And then doesn't the winner of that face MJF for the ring?
So
I feel like they've done that before.
They have done that before. Because, I watched, I believe, the second one in Daly's place, and it was the one where Orange Cassidy eliminated Wardlow, and it ended up with Orange and MJF being the last two. And MJF had already had the ring and had to win the Battle Royal again.
Yeah.
Or at least make it to the final two, and then he had to beat Orange. But more recently, I believe you are correct. I believe that they might have even had the full-blown Battle Royal and only had one person remaining, or they did it where they got to the final two, they faced each other, and then the winner faced MJF.
I feel like that happened with Ricky Starks once.
Yeah, either way, somebody had to face MJF at the end, and he didn't have to be in the Battle Royal.
I feel like that's still coming. They just haven't said it, because it would be just weird if all of a sudden he's just not going to go for the ring.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, and I was going to get to it, but Maria already brought it up. MJF has kind of grown out of that a little bit, right?
So, yes, but you don't have this guy win it 4 times, 5, however many times, and then just not defend it. He needs to lose it. There's more there with a feud with him not being the guy to do it. Especially, again, as I said, he came out kissing it.
It's his entrance.
He always does. What?
Yeah. I think it's like a major part of his entrance now.
Major entrance. But beyond just, like, this is something he's used as a weapon to win matches, that he keeps it in his tights, or he's had someone throw it to him. It's too big a part of it. I agree with you 100%. He should not win it again. Absolutely not. But for him to just not be a part of that, it feels like such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say should not win it again. I just think he doesn't need to. He could have won it every year in perpetuity, and I think I would have been fine with it.
Yeah,
but
it's his thing. It's his thing.
Yeah,
but it just feels weird, and something's off here. Yeah, and I think it's. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hoping, dude. I think there's still hopefully an opportunity for him to come out after the winner we get that it is determined when we get that next week. And he's just like, you thought this was over, bitches? And either he picks the caucus of whoever wins, or he's like, oh, next week or the week after, World's End, like, you have to face me now to actually get it.
And then he wins it, and then he loses at the pay-per-view, but he got himself another title shot. Like, there's just too much there to not have him be a part of this.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. So, and I'm going to get back to him in a minute, but I do want to get into the match. It started with, as Brodito were making their entrance, and they actually made their entrance as a tag team, which I thought was cool. The Demand attacked them from behind, and before the match started, and then a couple of people, I think it was some of the Don Callis family, got in the ring with some other people, and the match kind of started. The bell rang. It was a really messy start to the match.
The whole match was messy. I don't like. I hated the concept of the majority of the people in the match were outside of the ring.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to step on you.
No,
it defeats the purpose of the match. I get it when you have a heel do it. I like, and it's like, oh man, I'm going to be on commentary, so I don't have to be on the match, or I'm going to hide or something. Or a babyface has that like come from behind moment because he gets thrown through and then he comes back for the surprise, like, like attack. What is, if I can just spend the majority of the match on the outside, I have no motivation to get into it until I'm in the final two.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
I'm pretty sure one of the final two wasn't in the ring when the last elimination was made.
It was so messy. But please.
Yeah, and there's a part of me that's like, okay, maybe they're doing it because it allows talents to be focused on and those moves to be hit during the match. But at that point, just do one of the other various matches you have, like these multi-man matches. Like, I know it's always been the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, but you have, I wouldn't do the Casino Gauntlet, but you have some of those other ones, the ones they used to do with the
Casino Battle Royale.
Yeah.
With the cards, like the Diamond group comes out, Spade group comes out, Heart group comes out, Club group comes out.
And then you have a wild card if you really want to bring somebody back.
They haven't done that match in forever.
I know.
I don't think they're ever bringing it back. I think they didn't like how it played out.
And they've done different variations of that too, because they also did one with that big brass ring above the ring, and I think Scorpio Sky won it. If you remember that back in the day. So I think that was to get a TNT title shot, if I'm not mistaken. So like, there's other things you could do if you don't want the ring to be that crowded. But I agree with you. I think it just made it kind of messy, and everyone was all over the place. It made it even harder to follow than normal. Some of the bigger spots I wrote down, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens were teaming up for a little while, and they hit the Scissor Me Timbers, and then they were going to scissor in the middle of the ring, and then Caster got thrown out, I think, by Josh Alexander.
Josh had a good showing in this.
He really did. He was one of the final 5, I believe.
Yeah, he got a lot of eliminations. He looked really good.
Oh, he was one of the final 6.
Yeah.
We had a big meet moment. It was Mark Davis, my man Shelton, Benjamin.
You're going to be happy. Shelton's going to be on a singles run for a while.
I know. Luchasaurus and Brody King all got together, and Ricochet tried to get involved, and he got his shit rocked. Yeah. And then we had Brody powering out of a Josh Alexander ankle lock and sending him into Hechicero's feet, and Hechicero flipped him over the ropes, and that eliminated Alexander to get us to the final 5. Order of eliminations, though, was Max Caster, Ace Austin, who had a nice little moment there, but he got eliminated early.
Quick one, but he had it.
Yeah, against the Don Callis family. Bowens, Benjamin, Davis, Luchasaurus, and Alexander. That leads us to the final 5, which ended up being the Demand versus Brodito, essentially. Yeah. And Brody got sent into the crowd at one point, and then by Dink, Bishop Khan, and Ricochet was MIA. So we had Toa Leona facing off against Bandito, and it looked like Leona was about to eliminate Bandito because Bandito was on the apron and Leona had him by the neck, but Brody was able to recover and come back into the ring and just yell, "Bandito!" and sprinted dead at Leona, and the two of them went toppling over the top rope. And Brody eliminated them both. So that left Bandito technically in a 2-on-1 against Ricochet and Bishop Khan. But Ricochet was still MIA. So that really left Bandito 1-on-1 with Khan, who quickly got Bandito up for a powerbomb, and he attempted to throw him out of the ring. But Bandito reversed that into a Hurricanrana, and that eliminated Khan, leaving Bandito and Ricochet as the final two, just as Ricochet jumped back into the ring to go face-to-face in a really nice camera shot. Yeah. And now they'll be going one-on-one for the Dynamite Diamond Ring next week. Now, two things coming out of this. Three things. One, that's going to be an awesome match.
Yes.
Two, I really think MJF's possible involvement will determine who wins this match. If he does come out and be like, sorry, bitch, you have to fight me now, then Bandito wins next week. Otherwise, when I saw who was in this match, which, again, not nearly enough people, especially compared to previous years.
Not nearly enough people and not nearly enough believable winners.
Yeah, because I just went, Ricochet should absolutely win this.
Yes, 100%.
He is the perfect character to have this diamond ring if MJF isn't going to have it.
I completely agree. 1,000% agree. And it's why I'm mad Bandito is in the final two. Bandito, who is, for many people, Wrestler of the Year, who just lost the AEW tag team titles. Yes, he's still Ring of Honor champion. That's fantastic. Nobody cares. But him losing the tag titles and then him not winning a high-profile match against the AEW National. Yeah, thank you. There's just so many belts. Him then losing to the AEW National Champion. It doesn't make sense. But Bandito is not someone who should have that ring.
No.
Like, there is no reason for him to have that ring. So it should be Ricochet. In a world, like we said, no MJF, it should be Ricochet. And the match is going to be great. That I can say. I know Ricochet versus Bandito is going to be very good.
In Hammerstein, no less.
Yeah. I also have an aspirin ready for the headache that I will have because of it.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say just because I think you're absolutely right. Like, the match is going to be awesome, and it should be Ricochet unless MJF is involved. Yeah. So, like, Maria, I know you want Bandito to win, and it would be a nice cherry on top of the year he's had.
Yeah.
But it just works so much better with a heel, the same way, kind of as Maria said.
Yes.
It's the $1 million belt.
Yes.
You know? Let's see. Saying nobody probably ever thought of this, but put two rings side by side. It might solve the problem. I'd go even further. Put a giant cage around both of them. That would fix everything.
That's nuts.
Yeah, the ring definitely fits Ricochet better character-wise. Good call.
Yep.
All right, so that was the end of Dynamite. And it kind of ended on a whimper, but we then quickly switched.
It shouldn't have. Like, the ending of a Battle Royale should not feel like a whimper, but it absolutely did.
Yeah, and I know it's weird because I think people forget a lot of times, especially with this one, that it's the last two guys. Because the crowd didn't immediately react because they're like, oh, there's still two dudes left. And Bandito and Ricochet are having this awesome face-off.
Yeah.
But they have done this in the past where it has ended awesome. Like, I bring up again that one where Orange punched Wardlow out of the ring to leave him and MJF, the last two guys. And there was a limited crowd there, but people went crazy.
Yeah.
Because
it was a good spot. It was fun. Yeah.
And this was a decent spot. I liked the Brody saving Bandito spot better than the Bandito Piranhas for the win, but yeah, I wish we could have got more out of this match. They're usually really good, and this one just felt completely fat, which is rare for AEW, but yeah, it happens. All right, so we started Collision with the Jon Moxley promo that we talked about, and then we went to another match in the Continental Classic, this time in the Blue League, Orange Cassidy versus Máscara Dorada. And these two had just teamed up recently. I wasn't sure if it was on Dark or Collision, but either way, they brought that up a billion times on commentary. Also, I saw somebody on Twitter just being like, freaking Dorada just jumped right in for hologram as their luchador friend.
Yep. We'll just skip how problematic that is. We'll just move on right past it.
I always just kind of figured that, hologram was probably like, hey, this is my buddy, it's Dorada, because they've teamed together before, and I think he's hung around with the conglomeration previously. So he's conglomeration and friends. Special guest starring Máscara Dorada.
And Roderick Strong.
Yeah. To the end of the match, after countering an Orange punch by dropping Cassidy's arm off the top rope, like Máscara was on the apron, and he caught the punch and just pulled it over to screw up Orange's arm. Dorada headed up to the top, and he jumped down and went for an arm drag, it looked like, but Orange countered. So Dorada had to roll through it and attempted to regain control on the mat. However, Orange was able to counter that with a crucifix, rolling Dorada up into that and keeping him down for the 3 count and the win. And then after the match, Orange slid Dorada a pair of his shades in a sign of respect. So Orange...
Perfect slide, by the way, right?
Dude, it's Orange Cassidy.
That was seamless.
This moves Orange up into a tie for second place with Moxley at 6 points. Dorada remains at 3, so he's not out of it, but he is getting close. This match was really good, though, James. Like you said, it was really fun watching them both kind of try to be respectful of each other, but getting increasingly frustrated with how good each other were. Yeah. You saw a lot, too, with Dorada really going after Orange's back. And similar to Moxley's leg, this is something they've been playing up throughout the tournament, as I think they mentioned Claudio had hurt Orange's back. And then it's been lingering throughout the entire C2. So Dorada hit some sick backbreakers that tilt-a-whirl on the outside. I love me a good tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
Yeah, that's good.
And he hit another one, dropping, almost like a end of heartache type one, but he flipped Orange doing it. So yeah, those were sick. But these guys had great chemistry together, just because Orange is really good with the high flyers that allow him to do some of his more athletic stuff, and Orange is the same way, where he's good with the high flyers because of his unique arm drags with his hands in his pocket. So great chemistry between the two men, and I think a solid finish with the right guy waiting here to propel this Orange versus Moxley thing in the bracket.
I completely agree. Like the word you kept using, I think I used it before too, is it was a fun match. The finish is something that we don't get in WWE, but we've gotten enough in AEW, where it's just these two guys are going back and forth on a pin, and eventually somebody is going to just... The law of averages is saying it will eventually work out for somebody.
Yeah.
And it did. It worked for Orange. They just kept going back and forth on the roll-ups. They kept going back and forth on the pins. Eventually, Orange just had him. And I like that.
It looked like to me Dorada was... Because I had a little trouble figuring out what he was trying to do, and I wasn't sure if they screwed it up a little or what, but it almost looked to me like he was trying to do that thing that Swerve does when he rolls through and picks the guy up. It looked like he was trying to do that to Orange, and then Orange just caught him with the crucifix and then was able to end the match.
Yeah.
So I like that. I thought it was a unique way to end it.
No, I agree. Orange desperately needed a win. Orange in general coming out of this tournament is going to need something. He's going to need a storyline or just a real direction to go into.
He's going to need a cortisone shot in his back. That's what he's going to need.
Yeah, seriously. But fun matchup. I don't think there's much to say on it. I feel like this was a nice little breather matchup.
Yeah.
And I think both men delivered. So Orange is still in it. I think Dorada has to be eliminated at this point, right?
No, he has 3 points. So I think if he loses again, he's probably done, considering there's only a couple of matches left. Yeah. But he, like you said, he needs to win out and needs help.
Yeah. So fun matchup, and I think good way to keep things going into Collision.
Yep. All right, after this, we went backstage with the victorious Mercedes Moné and Athena, and Lexi Nair was back there and asked if their win, especially with the pin on Willow Nightingale, avenges their loss in the tag team tournament. And Mercedes takes exception to this question, saying the question should be, how did it feel to pin half of the tag team champions? Athena, though, calms Mercedes down. Especially, I don't know if Lexi's still a minion, but I don't think you should talk bad to Lexi in front of.
She's back. Yeah, she's back in the fold. She's back in the fold. Yeah.
And then Athena makes mention of the fact that she has a lot of history with Willow, and Mercedes has a lot with Harley. And considering this win, they should get tag team title shots at World's End. And Mercedes agrees, saying that Tony Khan better make that official. And Mercedes thinks that maybe she should have a challenge of her own. And despite Athena trying to get her to stop talking, Mercedes puts up her Rev Pro British Championship on the line in an open challenge for Collision this Saturday. And frustrated, Athena tells Mercedes that she can do whatever she wants as long as she makes it to World End. Much to the confusion of Mercedes, who's just like, I'm fine. I'm 12 belts Moné. What could possibly happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
Famous last words.
A great point from it. The real question is, can they coexist?
Weirdly enough, Athena has had a lot of fun with Mercedes because I think Athena has seen Mercedes just takes herself far too seriously. Well, while they are rivals, I think Athena just like screwing with her. And it's kind of turned into this like little bit of a like funny tag team when they're together.
Athena apologized to Billy after she and Mercedes lost, saying that she doesn't know why she chose her as a partner. She should have chosen Billy. And immediately is going back to teaming with Mercedes. So just funny stuff.
Maybe it's a ploy to get one of her titles.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Because I think she legitimately will hold on to that Ring of Honor title forever.
I'm down with that. All right. Next up, more women's action as we had Jamie Hayter face off against Isla Dawn. Good to see her. I know she's been on AEW a bit, but I haven't.
I think she's officially All Elite, right?
I don't know. I would have to check, but I know she's definitely working on a per match basis, and Toni seems to like her, so she's working her way towards it. Anyway, surprisingly, from what we saw outside of the commercial break, this match was mostly Dawn until Hayter just caught her coming off the ropes with what I believe was a hate breaker, if I heard Excalibur correctly. Yeah. The first one was quote unquote blocked, and then Hayter awkwardly powered through to the second one because Dawn just landed straight on her ass. And then Hayter pulled Dawn back up and hit her with a Haterade for the win. After the match, Hayter and Dawn went to shake hands because, they're both from the UK. And then the Triangle of Madness came in from behind and attacked the both of them, with Dawn getting thrown out of the ring. And then Tekla beginning to whip Hayter with her belt as the Sisters of Sin held Jamie down. As that's beginning to happen, AEW Women's World Champion Chris Statlander comes out for the saves. She knocks down Tekla and Julia Hart before hitting Sky Blue with a tombstone pile driver. And then Hayter starts to come to and get back up. So Statlander, I think, attempted to throw Tekla into a Haterade, but Julia was able to interfere. So Jamie lays out Statlander with the Haterade. And as the Triangle of Madness...
Zero remorse.
Yep. As the Triangle of Madness leave to regroup, Hayter picks up the Women's World Championship, as you said, with zero remorse, and raises it, walking around, none too concerned about taking Statlander out.
She pulled a real Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Like, that's just really what it felt like.
She looked at her, it's just like, whatever. I like this. This is shiny.
Yeah.
This was, I don't know what to make of this match, James. I feel like A, too much of it was in commercial. B, Dawn dominated most of it from what I could tell. And then the ending was a bit awkward.
It was a quick matchup just to give Hayter a win and push the story a little bit further.
And get two UK women on the card. And
and to get more women on the card. They got, through this, they got 6 women on the show. 6 more women on the show.
And just in these 3 hours.
So it worked out across the board. It does make Hayter feel a little heelish. Like, I think if that happened in the United States, different reaction than being over there. But
that's why they did it there.
Yeah, no, for sure. But there's a part of me that would love to see Jamie win because I feel for her and I feel like she should get another title run.
Yeah.
But I'm also not ready for the title reign to end either.
I agree. I also am still half convinced that Tekla somehow works her way into that title match.
I could see it happening in the sequel. Like, Hayter and Stat, they have their match, and then Tekla, gets involved afterwards or in the finish in some way, and that leads to a triple threat. But I don't know if she gets in for World's End. Maybe. but I think we have the men's world title match be a triple threat. I just don't see two.
Men's world the 4-way now.
That, you know what? You're right. You are correct. Okay. You know what? Never mind what I just said. Just do it. Do the triple threat.
You could. I think at some point though, Tekla will either A, get a title shot, or B, whether it's single. I think she will get a title shot, either A in a triple threat or B straight up. It's coming. You know what's saying? I thought I heard Dawn yell freedom before she got her head taken off.
Jesus.
All right. Last match of the evening was FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This match was actually pretty good. Had a bunch of great near falls. You had one after Stokely attempted to interfere, and Juice was able to fend that off at having him drop the powder, and then I think ended up with Cash kicking out. And the other one was off the powerplex from the Bang Bang Gang, where after they hit it, Cash then accidentally splashed Dax in an attempt to break that pinfall up. And then Austin hit him with a famouser, and then Dax was able to kick out of Juice's pin. That led to the last great falls finish, which was the end of the match, where as FTR was setting up for the Shatter Machine on Juice, Austin came in from behind and pulled Cash all the way back, balls first, into the steel ring post. And then when Juice eventually stumbles into Dax and Dax lifts him up, there's nobody behind him to pull Juice down. So Juice is able to counter, and eventually he lands that big left hand of his. Austin then comes in and follows it up with a famouser, and Juice pins him. But as the ref counts 3, Cash sneaks over and puts Dax's leg on the ropes, and referee Paul Turner breaks the count. However, Juice and Austin think they won, so they start celebrating. They go get the titles from whomever, I think Justin Roberts, even though the bell never rang. You got to kind of know that. So they're celebrating with the championships when Paul Turner tells them that they haven't won. And they're like, what? So they drop the championships as FTR come in and attack them from behind, and they take advantage of the distraction, sending Austin out of the ring before Jax wraps up Juice's previously injured leg from when he was out, and Cash climbs up to the top rope and stomps it. Dax then gets Juice in an inverted figure 4, and as Austin tries to fight his way back into the ring and is being stopped by Cash, Juice is forced to tap out as he stares at the title belts literally right in front of him on the mats.
Yep.
So, James, this was good. I mean, obviously, this is the end of a 3-hour show. I was losing a bit of energy.
Me too. I was running out of steam.
I think the crowd was losing a bit of energy, but obviously, well, actually, you know what? Not really, because they kept chanting for Juice. Both you got some Juice there. It is in there, but so I really like this match. Maybe there's something I go back and watch just so I can see it a little more. Appreciate it a bit more. I was also setting this up. So sometimes I kind of miss some things in the final matches, but I enjoyed what I saw, and like I said, those false finishes were great.
Yeah, no, I liked. I don't know if this is just me internalizing it, and I don't know how much the match did it versus me just interpreting it a certain way. I liked that so much of the match felt like if Austin was teaming with Colton, they would have won. Because there were just certain tag team dynamics that Juice and Austin didn't have. Like, they've been a tag team for a little while. They've obviously been a group for a long while. But this is obviously a makeshift team as Colton is out hurt. And a lot of it felt like FTR is obviously the tag team when it comes to tag team psychology, tag teams like feeling like an actual unit, and as opposed to the Bang Bang Gang, which are just two guys teaming together.
Yeah.
So to me, a lot of how that finish played out, a lot of the final moments of the match felt like if this was Colton, that would have played out differently. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that because I don't think anybody thought this version of Bang Bang Gang was going to win the tag titles from FTR. But if they did, my God, that would have to be the most random tag team championship run in AEW, right?
Swerve in Our Glory was pretty random.
But they built to that.
I guess.
Like, they built to that. This would have been just like...
they dropped the titles here?
Yeah.
Even though we all know we're just waiting for, E&C to come back, or CNC to come back.
100%.
Percy Jackson already has Edge out. Where is Edge?
No, it's out, I think. I think it is out now. So, yeah, I agree. Cope needs to come back ASAP.
Doing Money Plane 2.
My God. Okay. Just to go into the comments a little bit and to kind of play off of what you were saying too. Maria saying this was an excellent tag team match. I do agree. But for you and I with this finish, not just the finish, but the fact that it was the end of the show and you and I were running out of steam a little bit, it felt like if there was a big moment like Jay White's return, it would have had that missing spark that I think we needed to really stay invested.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I heard that Switchblade sound, because I was just like, oh, they would go nuts for him over here.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's a Kiwi, but like they love him in England.
He wrestled enough there, I think. We are definitely due for a Bang Bang Gang resurgence. These men just need to stop getting hurt. And I hope Colton is back soon. I hope Jay is back soon and just runs towards that world title.
Yep.
And I would love if they actually acknowledge that Ace Austin is part of the group.
I was about to say, like, I understand he didn't come out tonight with them because, he had the match earlier, and I get that. You got to go and recover and whatever. But, like, even then, I feel like he never comes out with them. And when he does, he's not part of the initial part of the entrance when they circle around.
Yeah, so what they do is...
He, like, sneaks in through the side in the dock.
What they do is they do the spin around.
The 360,
They split, and then he comes through doing his one-handed handstand flip.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I know. I've seen it once.
Yeah, it works. They just don't do it. So I don't know what's going on. I think I have to believe that when they put him in the group, they were under the assumption Jay White was coming back sooner. But I would have just held off at this point because there is no reason he's in it. And we were clamoring for it.
Yeah.
We were ravenous for it. And then it just feels like if they said tomorrow that the group is just the original 4, I'd be like, yeah, okay. We're all just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Honestly, though, I think when the Bang Bang Gang is at full strength, they're including Austin, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they're going to be so much fun to watch.
I really hope so. When you have that group at full force, you'll have 5 members. You'll have a world championship challenger in Jay White. You'll have a tag team in the Guns. You'll have 2 mid-carders in Ace and Juice that could go for different belts.
Yeah, and believably get them as well.
Yeah. Or even if you don't want to have them both go for mid-card belts, you could have some version of them going for the trios title. Juice in the Guns, or Ace in the Guns, or even, I guess, Jay, but I wouldn't. But, there's lots of ways you could book this group.
You can even do the Guns go for the tags, and Ace, Jay, and Juice go for the trios, too.
I'd be fine with that, too. I'd be fine with that, too. Although, again, I'd rather Jay going for the world.
But, I agree as well. But all 5 of them holding titles would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I would love it if some version of it is them freebirding it. So at any given point, the Guns are defending the trios titles, or Jay and Juice are defending the tag titles in some way. I think there's a lot of fun you could have with that group.
Yeah, they are one of the most fun groups in AEW when they're full strength. Just
I think ridiculous. We're waiting for the true return of Cardblade and what was the other one?
Oh, it was Colton. I don't remember what they called Colton.
No, it was Juice's cardboard cutout, wasn't it?
Wasn't Cardblade Juice? Juice had his own. Yeah.
Cardblade was Switchblade, Jay White.
Yeah.
I just forget. I think Juice had one too. But
to go back to one of your earlier points, though, James, where you were talking about the psychology of the match, where if it was Colton, you think they would have won. Maria took the words right out of my mouth. You don't have chemistry with anyone else like your own brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying, and I think that's perfect.
I'm going to challenge this on air, and I'm going to clip this if I can and send it to our chat. I guarantee you and David would win the tag titles before you and Matt.
Ooh, I don't know.
Matt
actually wrestled.
No, I'm saying as a tag team unit. I'm saying as a tag team unit. I think you and David would win the tag titles before you and your brother.
It's close. I don't know. Yeah. Depends. We did fall for the old dusty finish, Maria.
We did. Yeah, we did.
It was upsetting. Let's see. Maria, good point. Forgot about this. Christian had a procedure done on his knee. So they're probably waiting for that to heal up.
I didn't even know that happened. Like news to me.
I also thought they were going to come back next Saturday. But if FTR doesn't have a match, then they're probably going to wait. They're going to come back at a pay-per-view. FTR will defend the titles, and they'll come back.
Admittedly, they have shown us on so many occasions FTR does not need to have a match to have a segment. That Stokely will just talk shit, and that's their kind of bit. So I could see it, theoretically. And Chicago would be a good crowd for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll see.
They also they announced a pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure, in Canada coming up.
I wouldn't be surprised. But you can't have them return in Canada. You have to have the match in Canada.
No, I'm saying you have the match in Canada, so they're probably coming back sooner than later.
Yeah, I hope.
And Maria thinks Jay's going to kick Ace Austin out of the faction when he comes back. I don't think so, just because of their history. Jay is the one who brought Ace into the Bullet Club initially, right?
And 100% in TNA. And I think it's been a minute, but I think also the kayfabe reason in AEW that he's in the Bang Bang Gang is that Jay said, well, he's gone. He's in the group.
Ace sent me. Jay sent me, is what he said.
So I think there is a far more likely scenario of they just ignore that he was in the group.
I hope not.
I hope not too. I want him to do. He is so talented, and there's so much room for him to become a star. And being in a group like that will cultivate that. So I hope so, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's also very young too, right? So
I think he's like 20 something. I'm gonna say right now 28. Nailed it. Yeah, and born a day after me, February 28th.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. That was Dynamite and Collision, the Holiday Bash. It was a lot, but it was good. I think outside of I think the obvious dud being the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. I didn't love the Jamie Hayter match, but I don't want to say it was bad. It was fairly well.
It served a purpose. Yes.
Other than that, I thought everything on this show was great. All the Continental Classic matches were great. They all got a lot of time, I think, as you mentioned, because there just wasn't a lot of matches.
Yeah.
The elite match was match of the night, I think, as you mentioned earlier. I'm going to agree with you there. And obviously MJF returning throws a huge monkey wrench into the title picture in a good way, where now we are asking so many more questions than we were coming in to this week, heading towards World's End.
Yeah, no, I think we got a fantastic match on Dynamite. I think we got a fantastic segment on Dynamite. It's always the bummer with these Collision 3 hours that it's like, one, we do get tired by that third hour. And beyond that, it's also, I think they know that there are less eyes on the product in that third hour. So they don't put anything huge in that third hour, which is a bummer. But I get why they do it. It's just, maybe don't do the third hour. I still don't get it if we are getting a Collision on Saturday. It doesn't make any sense to me, really. But
very strange they're doubling up, especially because this one, that one on Saturday is being taped.
Yeah.
And
it happened already. They taped it already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Saturday is taped, and then Saturday they're also taping Wednesday and show, and then they're taping Thursday show on Sunday here in New York. So
that's so much.
Yeah, it's confusing. I know. And then I think they're live for New Year's Eve.
Ew, I hope not.
I think they might be live. Well, because they have the pay-per-view on Saturday.
That would be nuts.
They're in Omaha on Wednesday. Not Christmas Eve Wednesday, New Year's Day Wednesday. I'm fairly certain they're in Omaha.
Not. Oh, I hope they tape it the day after the pay-per-view. I hope they don't have to work New Year's Eve.
They said tickets available Omaha, so they're going to be spending New Year's in Omaha.
Oh my God, Toni, don't be a heel, man.
Day after, the Dynamite after the pay-per-view too. So we'll see how that one goes. But I'm excited to see what comes out of this Manchester taping. I'm excited it comes out of Hammerstein, and I'm excited for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
All right, yeah.
Now, will we cover any of it? No idea. Idea. Let's warn them now.
I'll get to that in a second. So let's head into the end of the show as we thank everybody for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. We'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribe. If you like the video, let us know that you're enjoying what we're doing here on the pod, and we can continue to do it. Keep it on up. But in terms of getting more stuff on the channel, I believe we have the Gym Pack Zones tomorrow.
90% yes. 90% yes.
But the holidays are obviously coming up, as you can see. Yep. So we are going to see what we could do about Christmas Eve, about New Year's Eve, and about the upcoming pay-per-view. This is likely my last show of the year because I have big plans for all 3 of those days. I have a very busy schedule coming up for the holidays. So on behalf of myself, I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. It's currently Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that. Enjoy your Festivus, because I know you people have a lot of problems with other people and you want to tell them about it. And whatever else you end up celebrating over the holidays. Boxing Day, enjoy
Canada Day. Is Canada Day coming?
No, it's Boxing Day is the 26th.
Gotcha.
They celebrate that in Canada, and in I think the UK and I think Australia as well.
Yeah.
Yep, Kwanzaa. So whatever you celebrate, I just hope you have a happy one and celebrate everything safely.
Yes.
In the meantime, though, in terms of the shows coming up, we will let you guys know whether or not we're covering stuff. So be sure to subscribe. We will drop some notes here on the pod. I think the most likely one's probably World's End.
More than likely, fair chance we're going to be covering World's End, or at the very least, I will be. Don't hold us to it. We'll see. I'm going to do my best. Beyond that, Gym Pack tomorrow. Definitely no Gym Pack next week, because there's no way I'm going to be able to on Christmas Day watching wrestling. Unfortunately, Christmas Eve, no way, and probably definitely not for New Year's as well.
Yeah, New Year's is the day we're all like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, we got to get out. Like, we only got 4 hours till this ball drops here.
But we do want to say to all of you guys, thank you so much for a great year. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. I'm going to do my best. We appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you don't think we're just saying that. We have so much fun talking with all of you, with you, Maria, with you, Dev. You know it. Tyler was here before, and obviously Fernando. We have so many of you guys who come in, and we appreciate all of you. And it just makes it so much more fun. As we said, I don't know if we officially said it. I think we might have on Sunday. We're officially past 2,000, which is huge for us. Like it is opening up so many more opportunities for us to have fun with you guys. And in 2026, we are definitely planning on doing a lot more. We've been teasing it for some time, but we're officially getting to that point that we can deliver. So expect some new fun stuff in 2026. If you guys saw or didn't see, I posted a video on Saturday prior to Saturday night's main event. A fun little story, a fun anecdote about me and John Cena. Go check that out. And if you guys like stuff like that, we would love to include more. We have so many experiences with wrestlers and in the wrestling world that Rev and I have met a bunch of wrestlers together. I've met an insane amount of wrestlers. Matt has met a bunch of wrestlers. And if you guys like that type of content, we would love to deliver more. And just let us know. Let us know. Like, that's not me shamelessly plugging. We hope you go check it out. And if you like it, we'll definitely try and do more of that with you guys. And I promise 2026 is going to see an influx of content. Rev and I are already exhausted. We're going to be taking these next couple of weeks for the holidays to recharge. but we will be bringing a lot more to the channel soon. So be ready for that. Matt is going to be helping with us. I know it's been a long minute since you guys have seen him, but there are plans for Danny to be doing stuff on the pod again, bringing Nick M back into it. So be prepared. It's going to be a fun, busy year. It took a while for us to hit 2,000. We're hoping we hit bigger numbers a lot quicker. And because of you guys, we're able to do it. Maria, thank you. 2,000 seems like a weird number, but for us, it's gigantic. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you guys have been great. Best audience I've ever had. And I can say that more than one show. And this has been the best audience I've had on any various shows. Although I did do mine on terrestrial radio back in the day. But yeah, it's always fun coming here, interacting with you guys. You guys are always positive. And even if we don't always agree on everything, you lead to a lot of good and fun conversations.
Yeah. I love not agreeing with you guys. You guys make me think differently. We have a fun back and forth. It's awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, so you guys are great. We hope you guys keep showing up and showing out for us, and it's awesome. To wrap things up here with the rest of the minutia. What's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't matter. If you want to check us out on any of our social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, or Twitter, that's all in the link here below. If you're on YouTube, if you're over on Facebook or on Twitter, you want to follow us in some other places. Let me get rid of this festive stuff so you can read it real quick. The Twitter is at marketdown_pod. Instagram is at marketdownpod. YouTube.com/marketdown3665. bsky.com. Blue Sky is marketdownpod.bsky.social. You threw me off taking the bottom line off there.
I mean, they can see it now.
I know. You can always kind of read it. Or just check us out. Search Market Down Podcast on any or all social media platforms, and you will find us there. Thank you. Note as well, just kind of flashing all those happy holidays up from you guys. We appreciate the well wishes from everybody. James, any last things? I don't know if you're going to be back, so if you want to say any last thing for the new year.
Go check out the John Cena video. Leave a comment, guys. That was a fun one to film. And I have a feeling there's a giveaway coming. I have a feeling that I think January 15th's premiere for TNA on AMC, I think we're going to do a giveaway. So if you're interested, I've got some stuff. We've been storing them up. So be ready for that.
All right. So for James Asante, my name is not Santa Claus. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year, and have a good one, everyone.